This pain wasn't random. It was recognition. You were attacked because you were anointed. Not because you were weak, but because you were marked. They didn't see the oil, they just smelled the fire. They didn't know heaven had its hand on you, so they put their hands against you. What looked like rejection was actually preservation. What felt like betrayal was actually divine proof that you are not ordinary. You are chosen. So now, hear me. By the end of this message, you will understand why some people couldn't help but come against you, and why every strike they threw came with a spiritual consequence they never saw coming. Because when you come for a chosen one, you awaken something far greater than them. You trigger the defender who sent them, and that defender is God Himself. Welcome to Chosen One's Prophecy, where the hidden are revealed and the marked are gathered. This is not just a message, it's a warning, and it's a scroll being unsealed. Psalm 105:15 says, "Do not touch my anointed ones, and do my prophets no harm." And yet they touched you. They gossiped, betrayed, plotted, and smiled while doing it, not realizing they were trespassing on sacred territory. Stay, because what's about to unfold may explain everything they did to you, and why God didn't stop it until now. The signature of the marked. There is a mark upon you that you did not choose, but heaven placed it there before the foundations of the earth. It is not seen with natural eyes, but it is felt in the spirit realm. Demons detect it. Darkness trembles before it. And people who were never taught how to discern it still react to it. This is why strangers have hated you without cause, why authority figures misunderstood you, why you walked into rooms and shifted atmospheres, not by your presence, but by your assignment. You didn't walk in with pride. You walked in carrying a scroll, and hell noticed. Just like Joseph, your dreams made others uncomfortable, not because of what you said, but because of what you carried. The coat was a gift from the Father, but the pit was a response from those who couldn't stand your favor. You weren't delayed, you were disguised, and now the disguise is lifting. So ask yourself, who sensed you before you even knew yourself? The mark attracted both favor and fire, but heaven never marked you to be hidden forever. Something is about to be revealed. The hidden years when heaven hides you. God hides what He values, and the more sacred the assignment, the longer the silence. If you've ever felt overlooked, forgotten, or passed over, you weren't being punished. You were being preserved. David was anointed king in secret, and then sent back to the fields. Moses was raised in a palace, and then hidden in a desert for 40 years. Jesus Himself, 30 years of silence before 3 years of glory. The hidden years are holy. They strip away performance, purify the heart, and train your ear to recognize God's whisper in the dark. The silence wasn't absence. It was divine surveillance. You were surrounded by people who couldn't see you because God wouldn't let them. Your light was veiled. Your gifts were guarded. Every no, every not yet, was heaven's way of saying, not here, not now, not with them. Obscurity is the sacred soil where chosen ones are forged. So the next time you question the quiet, ask yourself, what is heaven protecting me from? The furnace of affliction. To carry the glory, you must survive the fire. God does not send trials to destroy the chosen, He sends them to distill them. Every betrayal burned away your dependency. Every heartbreak purified your motives. Every delay removed your idols. This is the way of the forge. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown into the fire, but they weren't burned. In fact, the only things that did burn were the ropes that bound them. That's the pattern of affliction. It breaks what was never meant to stay. Your fire was not just about you. It was about what was attached to you. Some of the relationships that fell off in the fire were not accidents. They were divine subtractions. Some of the doors that slammed in your face were not missed opportunities. They were merciful redirections. You weren't just tested. You were trusted. And now the fire that tried to kill you is the very proof that God has branded you for more. The fire was never the end. It was only the furnace before the throne. The curse of interference. Touch not my anointed. When they came against you, they didn't realize what they were touching. Psalm 105, 8-15 is not poetic suggestion. It is spiritual law. Do not touch my anointed ones and do my prophets no harm. And yet they lied. They sabotaged. They plotted. They touched what they did not understand. Heaven records every word spoken in secret. Every tongue risen against the chosen shall be silenced. Not by your hand, but by God's vindication. Haman built the gallows for Mordecai and hung on it himself. Pharaoh pursued Moses and drowned chasing him. Goliath mocked David and fell by the very stone he never saw coming. When someone interferes with God's chosen, they invite divine interruption. Some of the judgment unfolding in your enemies' lives is not revenge. It's recompense, not because you demanded it, but because God decreed it. You were never sent to curse them, but heaven still defends its own. And if they touched you while you were still in your cave, what will happen now that God is bringing you out? The darkness knew first. Before you knew your name, the darkness knew your threat. You were attacked before you were aware, rejected before you had language for your calling. The warfare didn't wait until you were strong. It came for you in childhood, in isolation, in the moments where you had no armor yet, just promise. This is not random. This is the pattern of the elect. Moses was marked for death as a baby. Jesus was hunted before he ever performed a miracle. And you were fought before you were formed. Because darkness detects destiny before the human mind can comprehend it. If hell tried to abort you early, it means heaven had already announced you. The nightmares, the spiritual attacks, the fear that wrapped around your voice when you tried to speak. Those weren't coincidences. They were confirmations. Your warfare reveals your weight. So if this resonates with your soul, comment 4:4 as a prophetic sign that you are still listening and receiving. You're not just watching this. You are awakening. The fight wasn't proof of your failure. It was the evidence of your election. The crown you can't see yet. They looked at your wounds and mistook them for weakness, but they never saw the crown being placed in the spirit. Heaven crowns people in the cave, not on the stage. David was crowned king when he was still a shepherd. Esther was crowned queen when she was still hiding her identity. And you were crowned in the wilderness, in the weeping, in the lonely yes you whispered when no one was watching. You didn't need an audience. You needed an altar. Your authority is not loud. It's sacred. It shows up in your prayers, in your presence, in your peace that makes no sense. The crown you carry is not ornamental. It's operational. You have authority to break generational cycles, to shift atmospheres, to birth movements, all because you stayed faithful when no one clapped for you. The next time someone underestimates you, remember, crowns are worn before they're seen. Heaven's secret mission. You weren't just chosen to survive. You were commissioned to release something. God has placed a scroll inside of you. It holds blueprints for deliverance, healing, strategy, and restoration. You were never meant to blend in. You were designed to release something heaven wrote before time began. Esther was not just beautiful. She was a divine strategy. Joseph wasn't just wise. He was an answer to a famine. And your story holds solutions for a people you haven't even met yet. You are a walking answer to someone's midnight cry. That's why the warfare was personal. Because your calling isn't small. God did not mark you for comfort. He marked you for impact. Everything you've endured was training for a mission that hasn't fully unfolded yet. And the scroll is about to be opened. The remnant awakens. You thought you were the only one, but God never calls one without preparing many. Elijah said, "I am the only one left." But God replied, I have preserved 7,000 more. You are not alone, you are part of a remnant, scattered across the nations, tested in silence, forged in private, and now, rising. There's a sound in the spirit, bones rattling, voices returning, scrolls being activated. You are not crazy, you are not broken, you are part of a divine uprising. The remnant is real, and you are one of them. Find the others, stand with them, because when the remnant unites, the earth trembles. You were hidden for a time, but now is the hour of release. The echo effect. This oil on your life was never meant to stay in a bottle. What you carry is generational. It's ancestral. It's eternal. The decisions you make now will echo in the spirits of people you'll never meet, and generations not yet born. Your yes is echoing through time. Mary said yes, and salvation was born. Paul said yes, and nations were changed. You say yes, and someone's destiny realigns. Every tear you cried was a seed, and now the harvest is not just yours. It belongs to those your voice will reach. Your fire is not for you alone. You are not just chosen. You are sent, and what you carry must be released. Let it echo. You thought they were fighting you, but they were wrestling with the God who sent you. You weren't abandoned. You were armored. Every silence, every scar, every stolen moment was heaven securing your anointing for such a time as this. You are not who the pain said you were. You are who the fire revealed. You are a chosen one. You have walked through shadows without losing your light. You have endured storms without surrendering your song. You have survived what others didn't see, because your survival was the sign. You have been marked. You have been forged. And now, you are being sent. If this word confirmed what your spirit has long carried in secret, comment 777 below as your prophetic agreement. Tell us what part broke you, or woke you, or reminded you who you've always been. Because every story you share is another flame in the rising fire of the remnant. Subscribe and stay connected to Chosen One's prophecy. Not just to be seen, but to walk with those who see you. You are not alone. You are the next echo.